Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Jennifer Valley. I'm the community manager here at Trivantis, and I'd like to welcome you to this Inspiration Wednesday webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about the Trivantis community and the top 10 ways to benefit from the site. I'd like to thank you again for joining. This Inspiration Wednesday webinar is brought to you by Trivantis, the makers of Lectora, Lectora Online, Review Link, and Course Mill. We are going to be talking about the Trivantis community and the benefits of what it can bring to you if you are already joined or if you're thinking about joining the site. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be talking about the items. I figured we'd do it real Jay Leno style and go ahead and go from the top 10 and count down to the number 1. Before we go ahead and get started, however, there are a couple housekeeping items that I just wanted to briefly mention to you before we go ahead and get started. All attendees are on mute. That's just to maintain good audio quality as we go throughout the session. The session is being recorded and will be posted on the Trivantis community a couple days after the live session. If you have any questions as you're going throughout the session, you're more than welcome to type them into the questions panel. I am monitoring it and I will be happy to answer those on the fly. I can also open up the questions via voice at the end of the session if you guys would like as well. If the GoToWebinar panel is a little bit too much for you, you can hide it using the orange arrow. That'll minimize it down for you. Just keep in mind that a lot of your settings are going to be less accessible once we get into that part of the training, and you might want to have some questions or whatnot as we're going through. My name is Jennifer Valley. I'm the community manager here at Trivantis. I've been with the company going on 2 years, and I was actually a Lectora Inspire user for about 7 years before then. So I'm coming at you with a lot of e-learning and instructional design experience and helping you out in the community as best as possible. You can find me out on the site by looking for my username, which is jvalley4735. If you want to go ahead and write that down, more than welcome to tag me in any of your conversations and I'll be happy to help you. You can also get a hold of us directly at community@trivantis.com with your individual questions, comments, or concerns related to the community as well. As we go out throughout the session, we're going to do a couple different things. We actually unveiled the Trivantis Community version 2.0 is what we're calling it. It arrived on the site on the 17th. We notified it via email to you on the 19th. And we wanted to show you exactly what it looks like now and also the top 10 ways to use the community to your benefit. During the session here today, you're going to be able to expect a tour, the top 10 countdown, as well as my tips and tricks as we're going throughout the session so you can better use the site for your advantages. So let's go ahead and jump into the community. I'm going to open it up in my local browser and we can start from there. As a reminder, the community is available at community.trivantis.com. You can always access it into your Lectora or Lectora Online program as well. It's in your learning resources on the Getting Started with Lectora screen. Once you get into the site, you're going to notice, if you are a previous user, some of the differences that are more visual and are going to be more of a cue of the 2.0 version. So some differences that you're going to see is that we did do some design and rebranding changes, and we also made it easier to read with some better colored text and hyperlinks as well. So there's definitely some visual changes there for you to take advantage of and hopefully make the site more easily used as you go throughout the use of the site. My number 10 tip or item that we're going to be talking about here today is either registering or logging in. That's how it all gets started. You're going to want to make sure that you register for the site because that way you'll have free and unlimited use to the program, or the website I should say. So by registering, all you're going to do is on the website, up in that blue navigation bar up at the top, there's a registration button, or a register button I should say. You're going to fill out some really basic information such as your email address, first and last name. You can provide your company and website or LinkedIn URL as well, and have your password in there. We do recommend that you use your company email whenever possible. When you're having conversations about Lectora, you're going to want to have real-time notification when somebody responds back to your comments or things in the forums. And it also sends out mailing information every once in a while, such as new and upcoming features and different aspects of the product. There is a verification process that happens after you register, so your access to the community is not instantaneous. This is just to guarantee that the site is not overloaded with spam and that we're also allowing people to come in who are either previous users, current users, or people considering using our products as well. Usually that waiting period only lasts about 24 hours long. Being able to provide as much information when you register and also in your profile is definitely going to help speed up that process whenever possible. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and head on over to the website, register, and you can follow along with us during this session if you would like. Once you're registered, all you're going to need to do is log in. Typically, the login process is only going to be required for the first time during the day. However, sometimes you will be required to re-log in if there's a lack of activity for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and log in using the sample profile so you can see what it's going to look like as a fellow user, and we can explore the site that way. My number 9 item that we're going to be talking about next is getting in and actually updating your profile. There's a variety of different reasons as to why you would want to do this, and we'll go ahead and talk about those here in just a second. If you want to go ahead and get a hold of your profile so you can edit it, up in the upper right hand corner of that blue bar, you're going to see your name in an image, and you'll also see that if you access the drop down, you'll have a profile option as well. You can either select to view or click on the image or the name, and it should automatically direct you to your profile. This profile is where other members of the Trivanus community will be able to have visibility as to who you are and what you're doing with our product. The more information that you're able to provide, the better opportunity you'll have for your questions getting answered, your profile being accepted into the site, and it'll also provide as a way of introducing yourself to other e-learning experts so you can start expanding out your network. You can get in and edit your profile at any given point in time by selecting the edit button instead of view. So if I wanted to make changes to this, I could definitely go ahead and do that now. You have the opportunity of adding your first name, last name, company. I'll go ahead and just update this just so you can see what the change is going to look like. Your website or LinkedIn URL, you can include some biographical information as well, and then all you'll need to do is select Save Changes. By doing so, you actually just earned yourself a badge. If you're new to the site, there are badges, and we'll talk about those in more detail here once we get to that point. But any opportunity that I can to let you know when you could potentially earn one as we're going throughout the session, I will definitely let you know. The other way that you can earn a badge is if you go ahead and change your profile photo. You can also upload or change your cover image as well. So if you want people to be able to visually see who you're talking to, it's a great opportunity to bring in a profile photo, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whichever one you prefer, and upload it into the site. That puts a face to a name, and it also makes it easier for us to find you at conferences if you plan on going to, such as the Lectora User Conference that we have once a year. There are a couple other things that you can do on your profile that I wanted to briefly introduce you to or let you know about before we move on to another topic. There is a portfolio available by selecting the Portfolio tab underneath your cover image. That portfolio is a collection of items that you've shared in our share section, shared content, and our contest section as well. This sample profile has not personally shared any information, but if you're looking for a quick and easy way to have your information being shared, like maybe you're looking for a new position, or you just want to be able to show family members or friends what you've been working on and it's public facing, you can send them a link to your portfolio and they'll be able to view the content. Unless they're registered for their site, they won't be able to download it. However, it does give you the ability to host your courses to a certain degree, so definitely keep that in mind. You can also see your activity view your notifications, see your friends and who you're following from here as well. There is a friend and follow opportunity on the site. The friends are people who are allowed to see your profile and you know that you know them in some certain way. Following allows you to see what kind of activity that they've been up to in your activity thread. There is a more option on the site. If you see a 3-dot menu, you can select it to see other options as well. So from within here, I can quickly navigate to the groups and forums that I'm associated with, along with the settings and achievements associated with my profile. The settings is extremely helpful if you ever need to reset your password. Achievements is a great way to see what badges you have achieved on the site so far. There's a collection of them. We actually have a leaderboard that you can see over on the right-hand side of the screen. P.S. I'm winning. Make sure you get onto the site and try and beat me. And you'll have the opportunity to earn as many badges as possible by doing various activities on the site. And again, we'll talk about that in more detail later. Once you've gotten your profile set up, it's a good idea to go ahead and start navigating through the website and trying to figure out exactly what you're looking for. There's going to be a couple different reasons why you're going to be on the Trivanus community. We're going to start off by talking about some of the more obscure topics just because I wanted to make sure that you're aware of them, and we'll drill down into the ones that you're really interested about. So the first one that I wanted to go ahead and mention is that there are groups within the system or within the program or the website that you can go ahead and join and talk with other members about various different aspects of your development or product use. To be able to access the groups, you're going to go up into the blue section of the navigation of the Trivanus community and locate the More button, which is the 3-dot system. Expand that open and you'll be able to see that there is a group option that you can choose from within here. You can start your own group if you would like. There are groups that you can join as well. You can search for them, look through the last active, your groups, or all of the groups. Some of them require membership or permission to join. Other ones are free and open to you. The most recently added group that we've had is our Lectora Accessibility User Group. You can go ahead and join that if accessibility is a point that you need to learn more about within the system. You'll also see groups that are related to your location, such as an American, Canadian, Australian user group that you can join to talk with people in your local geographic area. There's also groups that you can join where other people are using products and you can band together and talk about the connection between Lectora and Cornerstone and Lectora and HealthStream. So you can have that conversation and talk about the connectivity within the programs. Definitely take a look through, join as many or as few as you would like. If you're going to join one that requires a certain location, we do ask that you are in actually that location, so it does maintain some relevance to you. There are some other general areas or groups as well, such as e-learning course development and developing men and women. There's some career opportunities, designing women and men. There we go. Lots of different things that you can choose from. By joining a group, you earn a badge. So go ahead and try and see if you can find something of interest to you. And like I said, if you would ever find an opportunity to start a group within the system, you can go ahead and do so by selecting the Start a Group button. Once you've gotten and you've joined your group, you can go ahead and use the forums that are available to have conversations with people directly related in with that content if you would like, and you'll be able to just continue on your conversations as needed. The next area that we're going to go ahead and talk about is if you are ever looking for an example of a product created in Lectora or Lectora Online that you want to use during your development. Up in the blue navigation bar, there is a section called Shared Content. Previously, it was called Share. And that area is where you can see examples of course material that have been uploaded into the system by other members and Trivantus staff. So if you're looking for a quick and easy way to work on a particular topic, you'll be able to see that there's a lot of examples out here, including webinars that were conducted, examples of sample courses that were created by Trivantis, things that happened during the Lectora user conference, conversations that happen in the forum. If people decide that they want to share the example that they created publicly, you'll also find things from within here as well. If you go ahead and select one of these items by either choosing the picture or the title, that will open it up into a fuller explanation of what exactly the example is doing. For example, I did a webinar in conjunction with the eLearning Brothers where we talked about how to use Lectora Inspire 17 and the eLearning Brothers template library, Cutout People Library, and Interaction Builder to create a course. And we did one somewhat successfully in about an hour. You can then preview or download that content as needed. So for example, over on the right-hand side, there's a preview button. When you open it, it will show you the HTML version of the course. It's taking a minute to load, but you'll be able to go through the course content, play around with it, interact with it as a learner, and use it however you so choose. If you like that example, you want to re-engineer it from the back end or download it and bring it into your own courses, you can then download the Lectora file using the button directly below preview. Sometimes the items will also include additional information or resources, and if you scroll down, there will be things that you can grab, such as the course text and the answer and question key that I used to develop this material. I wanted to be able to copy and paste as much as possible, so those are in there for you. If there's an example that was created in Lectora, sometimes people will also upload a Lectora Online package, so there's connectivity in between the programs, so you'll be able to use both versions of the product if you need to. We highly encourage that if you have anything that is public facing and can be shared and is a great example of Lectora, to please go ahead and do so. You might actually see your content featured in one of our marketing publications or on our website. The next area that we're going to go ahead and talk about is number 5, which is our contests. Our contests are currently run monthly, and it's an opportunity for you to continue on with your development and use of Lectora or Lectora Online, and a great way to collaborate with other people on the site to see what they're doing and what you're up to as well. You can access the contest information by, again, up in that blue navigation bar, selecting the contest option. Our current contest that is running is video-based, so we are asking people to insert videos within your course material and then share it with other users. And of course, this is the point in time where my browser is going to run a little bit slow. There we go. So you can see various different examples of content that has been created either by other members of the Trivantis community or even Trivantis staff. I usually try and include an example with each contest. By signing up for the site, you will get notified via email of new contests and other features so you can follow along with us. Otherwise, there's going to be an explanation of what each contest is if you scroll down a little bit and see that there's an article that talks about the specifications for this particular contest as well. This is also a great place to go ahead and download and use that content to your advantage. There's lots of great use and functionality that's being used within the system to make it a lot easier for you to speed up your development process. If you're feeling a little pigeonholed into, I have to use my certain branding standards and my logos, and I really like Lectora and I want to play around, this is one of your great outlets to be able to do that, and also a great opportunity for you to build up your profile and your portfolio. So if you ever wanted to share your content out on websites such as LinkedIn or a personal website, you have these tailored or just guided content that you can then reference and use to your advantage as well. Lots of great things to take advantage of. They have been running for a little while. We've gone over a year now, so there's lots of things out there. You do get a badge for joining or for participating, and then there's a separate badge for also winning, which is a great way to try and beat me in that leaderboard. The same concept as the shared content area. If you find something that you would like, all you need to do is go ahead and click on it. You can see what the decision-making process was of putting something together by an individual person. Hi, Andy, I can see that you're on here. And you can go ahead and preview and download the content as well. So you'll be able to see what they've done and even get a hold of the source files to kind of play around and reverse engineer. I've been talking about them badges quite a few times, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into them now, and that's going to be number 4 that we talk about here today, just so you have a better idea of the different things that you can earn and whatnot. The easiest way to see all of the badges in the system is to go over to the knowledge base and search for the keyword badge in the search feature. There's a couple articles in here that have exactly what the badges do. So the badges and leaderboard one should work out for you. We did introduce the leaderboard relatively recently. It was in May, so it's somewhat new to the system and a great new feature for having people get on and really push towards using the site more. So here's a complete list of all of the badges and the actions necessary to earn them. Change your profile, update your picture, join a group. You can also earn badges by responding to a forum and posting a forum question, accepting a new friend request. You should receive one from me shortly after joining the website. You might also get a friend request from your sales representative or other members of Trivana staff or other users as well. You can become a Lectora beginner by watching our Lectora 101 series. This is a great resource if you have people at your organization who are relatively new to the program and you want to set them off and watch a collection of videos as like their first day of orientation and be able to quickly and easily learn how to use the program. There's about 20 videos that go over the main topics. We also suggest and really push for you to review our product on websites such as Capterra, G2 Crowd, Trustpilot. We love to hear about your usage and your feedback on the programs as they link in with what you're doing currently. You can write a testimonial, and that could potentially end up on the website. And we'd love to, again, hear about what you're doing, see examples. Metrics are great. You can contribute to the community by posting in 5 different forum posts, become a beginner just by registering, going to the intermediate level by watching the current demonstration, and advanced by posting on our Welcome to the Community thread introducing yourself. You can also become a verified member, and that lets other people know that you have a valid license to Lectora. And it's just another step in proving who you are and what you can contribute to the website. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions for future badges, we would greatly appreciate any of that feedback. Again, the email that you would need to contact us at is community@trivanas.com. I am peeking over into the questions panel of the GoToWebinar panel as I'm talking. Again, as a reminder, if you have any questions as we're going through, I can definitely expand on any of these topics more so than what I'm doing right now. Just go ahead and type it in, let me know, and I'll be happy to respond as we're going through. We're now getting down into the final top 3. We're going to talk about the knowledge base and the forums, and then we can also look at some of the other things that you might potentially need to do on the website as well, for some additional tips and tricks and things to continue on with the time that we have available. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with number 3, which is the knowledge base. The knowledge base is accessible in that blue navigation bar by selecting the knowledge base button. That'll take you to the particular page. Our knowledge base is a collection of videos, articles, and things like that, to recordings of Inspiration Wednesday webinars to help you really get knowing how to use the program, up to date on information, and just to find various different topics of interest. There's a couple different ways that you can use the knowledge base, and I'm going to go ahead and insert in a couple tips and tricks here right now before we jump into any of the particular pieces of content. If you're looking for something on the knowledge base, there is no shame in scrolling through, kind of looking at the topic headings and the descriptions to see if anything is of interest to you. You're more than welcome to do that. There is a collection of a lot of different things. So you're just going to need to kind of figure out what exactly you're looking for. Once you find something you're interested in, again, click on that image or that header and it'll take you into a more advanced view where you can read or watch a video or be linked to additional content, whatever it may be relevant to. The other tip or trick that is really important is that if you're not finding exactly what you want right away, there is a search feature over on the right-hand side of the screen. We do recommend that you do a keyword search. It's not Google. It's not how do I do this. Instead, pick out a part of the program that you know of the technical name, such as variables, enter it in, select enter on your keyboard, and it'll search and filter for you by all of the topics related to that particular piece of item. So for example, there's a whole Lectora Basics series talking about various different aspects of variables, as well as our Lectora 101 series variable video and Inspiration Wednesday recorded webinars that you can reference and watch as well. When I was new to the program, I had a really great mentor, and I also used these Inspiration Wednesday webinars as a way to learn the program. And so whenever you're looking to do a little bit more professional development, highly recommend jumping on the site and checking out all of the different resources. Some of them are going to be a little bit older and related to older versions of the product, but most of the concepts are going to remain the same. I'm going to remove my search feature out of here because I no longer would like to do that, because I'm going to go into my third tip for using the knowledge base, and that is going to be to select the category. The categories are going to help you refine down your content even further. And if you select it open, you can see things related to articles, contests, ebooks, Inspiration Wednesdays, Lectora, Lectora 101, Lectora Online, Review Link, really all of that content and questions that you might potentially have. I've been referencing a couple times the Lectora 101 series, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that up and again bring it to your attention so that you can take advantage and use this if you're relatively new to the product or new to the website, or you have new people coming into your organization. We've set up a Lectora training plan. It's essentially everything you need to know to get started. It starts at the very basic, goes into more advanced topics. There's a collection of about 20 videos. You can see them in numerical order as you scroll through, and you can really take a look at all these different pieces of content to really get you up and running with the program as quickly as possible. So this is more or less for our beginner level access or content. There is more advanced content that's shared, and that's typically during our Inspiration Wednesday webinars. And you can search through those by changing that category over to Inspiration Wednesdays. And once it gets loaded, there's a variety of different things that you'll be able to search through and look for. So for example, we do what's new with our products, so you can keep up to date with the most current and recent versions. And then there's going to be webinars that happen with thought leaders and members of the Trivana staff to really help you get acclimated to a certain topic or subject matter. So hopefully you'll be able to find something within the knowledge base of interest to you. Again, we're always happy to point you in the direction of certain resources or expand upon our offerings. So if you see something missing or something that you're looking for, you're more than welcome to go ahead and tag me in the system or send an email to community@trivanis.com. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about, and essentially our 2 and 1 of the top 10 things, is our forums. It's most likely going to be the area that you're have the most interested in and the reason why you would potentially want to join. We understand that you're always going to be looking to have communications with other members of the Trivana staff or Lectora users to have your questions answered, look for feedback, and it's really the biggest draw to the website for a great reason. We recently changed the forum section with the version 2.0. It was previously called Connect because you could connect with other users. However, we've been calling it forum for a while now, even myself included. So we decided to just go ahead and let you know this is where you can get into the forum area. You can see the forums by selecting it from the navigation bar. It'll take you into the general location where you can drill down exactly what you're trying to communicate with other users about. When you get in here, there's a couple different things that you can choose from and use to your advantage. I definitely recommend picking your next step from the featured forums list. It's a general location of all the forums that we have. We have announcements, which is typically Trivana's information, a social lounge where you can have conversations not directly related to our products if you would like. Maybe it's networking or about a conference or a job. Those are all posted in our social lounge. There's also our products of Lectora, Lectora Online, and CourseMill. Review link can be added into any one of those and talked about since it's included with both Lectora and Lectora Online. There is still a Snap forum available. The Snap product has been discontinued and is no longer supported. However, you might be able to get communication from a fellow user over there to help answer your questions. When it comes to posting a question or something along those lines, we really recommend that you go through and you search the forums first. There's a search field over on the right-hand side. It's in the gray bar above the recently active members area of the screen. Again, keywords is going to be best. A collection to get you as closely drilled down to it as possible is going to help out. That way you know if there's a conversation already going on, you can jump in, read through it, add your 2 cents, try and see if you can't get it figured out that way. If it doesn't appear to be in there, you can go ahead and start your new thread. When it comes to starting a new thread, the first thing that you're going to choose is what forum you want to place it into. Again, the featured forums is the best place to start. I'm going to go ahead and do Lectora. And once I jump into Lectora, I'll be able to see the various different forum threads that are available within this particular location. If you have questions about your Inspire tools, you can use the Inspire Tools questions and answers section, so help with Camtasia, Snagit, eLearning Brothers, and your branch track content as well. There is general Lectora questions and the Lectora questions and answers. If you have suggestions for our products, you can enter it into the Lectora suggestions forum as well. With the Lectora suggestions, that information is passed along to our product team, so you are getting a direct link in between the user and the Trivana company in order to get that information in. It does go through our process of validating and prioritizing and all that good stuff related to a software. However, it's a great way to get it out in front of as many people as possible because other people can agree with you or like it. You can have conversations about exactly what you might want to see or get questions from our development team asking you exactly what you mean. There's also a forum for LMS integration, tips and tricks, and even web accessibility. So if you have any questions about those as well, you can do that. There are similar forums available in the Lectora Online section with a couple variances, but for the most part, you're probably going to get into either Lectora or Lectora Online questions and answers. As I click on this, there is a question that came through, so I wanted to go ahead and address that and let this load up. Regarding the badges, when you go to your own profile, there's a point score for total badges awarded. I know the leaderboard is tallied by badges. Is there a plan for the points that users are given. Yes, there is points associated to not only the badges that you're doing, but other activity onto the site. We haven't necessarily drilled down to exactly what we're going to have associated with those points, but there is a plan at some point to have that associated to something that would be beneficial to you. I can't really provide any information until that has been ironed out a little bit more, but the answer is yes. The more activity and the more badges that you earn, the more points that you earn, and that could potentially mean better and awesomer things when it comes to the Trivanus community, our products, and maybe even rewards as we move forward. Great question. Thank you for asking. Once you get into the forum section for the Lectora questions and answers, you can subscribe to the whole entire feed if you would like by selecting that subscribe button. If you're not really into all that many emails, then I probably wouldn't suggest it. But if you are interested in certain topics like web accessibility, maybe that one would be a good one to know about all of the different things that are happening in that particular thread. You can scroll through and see all of the most recent topics. Some of them are going to be pinned toward the top, and those are going to be relevant to Trivanus and our products. So the welcome to the community forum, notification about new versions of Lectora, Course Mill, and Review Link are currently pinned to the website. You'll then be able to click through and see if there's anything that you want to look into by selecting on the title of the thread. If there is something in here and you need to start a new topic, you can go ahead and do so by selecting the New Topic button. First thing that you're going to need to do is to add a title. So the title should be descriptive as possible, but there is a character length maximum, which is 80 characters. So whatever is going to be relevant, I'm just going to put in that this is a sample title. You'll then be able to click in and start typing and adding information about the product. There is an article out onto the Trivanus community that talks about some suggestions. I'm going to kind of regurgitate them verbatim as best as possible. But essentially, you're going to want to let the people know what product you're using. So I am currently using Lectora Inspire. I have your version. And so you're going to have your version number, and then you're also going to potentially want to know the dot versions afterwards, depending on what release you're currently at as well. So just try and provide that information as much as possible. And then you're going to want them to let them know I am having X problem. I tried Y. I need A output, filling X, Y, and A into whatever is necessary to your particular problem that you're having. And you can provide as much information as possible. Typically, if you don't provide at least the things that I just mentioned, they're going to come up in the first couple responses. So you're going to want to include that. Otherwise, it's going to take a little bit longer for somebody to be able to really troubleshoot with you and figure out what's going on. You can get notified of your replies by selecting the checkbox that says notify me of follow-up replies via email. Again, if you have it linked in with your company email, that gives you the opportunity to directly communicate back and forth as quickly as possible to get that issue resolved. If you scroll down a little bit further, there are attachment options available. All you need to do is choose the file and then browse for it and upload it. It needs to be in some type of zipped format or executable or package file, whatever is going to be the most relevant. There is a maximum file size allowed, which is 102,400 kilobytes. So please keep that in mind and reduce down your examples as much as possible. Once you've gotten everything good to go, you can go ahead and select your submit button, and by doing so, you'll be able to post that comment out onto the thread, and it'll begin collecting in your responses. We typically will leave your responses available for other members of the Trivanus or the Trivanus community to respond to. We really like that peer-to-peer communication going on. However, if it doesn't seem to be responded to within the first 24 hours, you will hear from somebody at Trivanus, hopefully with suggestions and whatnot about what you have going on with your particular problem or question. So that is essentially the forums. Once you get something published in, one of the things that you can do is you can go ahead and begin responding as well. It doesn't have to be a one-sided communication. We do want to take advantage of anybody who has that Lectora knowledge and experience. So if you can jump on the website every so often and read through the forums and provide your suggestions and comments, we do greatly appreciate that. Anything that you see within here that you would like to notify or let people know that it's a great response, there is a vote up button, and that can let people know that this reply is useful. So if you're going through and you're trying to find and pick through the different pieces of the content to find the answer that you're looking for, definitely look for the ones that have been voted up. So that is essentially it for the top 10. We do still have a little bit of time available, so I'm more than happy to answer some questions. I can also poke around in the website and let you know of a couple different other things you can do. We did not go over the upload process, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about that. And if you have any questions kind of swirling around in the back of your head, please go ahead and start entering them into the questions panel, and we'll finish off with that here in just a little bit. So from the menu bar up at the top in the 3-bar system, you can submit your contest entries and your new content in the shared content area, depending on where you want to share it at. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to upload a new shared content into the shared content area. And you're going to see a form that's provided, and I'm going to quickly walk you through exactly what we're looking for in these particular fields in case you're interested in sharing your content. You're going to need to enter in a title, a couple keywords, and a description. Anything with a red asterisk is required. We really want to know in the description why this was created, what problem it solves, how the functionality within the system is being taken advantage of, what instructional design practices or e-learning standards did you use, any relevant information that's going to help people when they're looking at the content and make them want to click on it. You're going to need a preview image, which is just going to be a screenshot to show your content. So pick your favorite page, take a screenshot. If you have Lectora Inspire, you can use Snagit. If you have a Windows computer, you can use your snipping tool, whichever one is going to be the easiest for you. You're going to need to bring 2 different files into the system, and there is a difference in between those 2 files, so I'm going to talk about them now. The published files is the Trivanus community, when it does the preview button, is associated to an HTML output of your course. So when you're in the system, you're going to need to go to your home ribbon and publish to HTML. That is going to give you the opportunity to bring the content in, and you're going to want to make sure that you have the create a zip file option selected. That zip file is what you're going to need to locate when you select the files and bring them in. You can also include your Lectora file in a variety of different outputs depending on what you're currently working on, and that is how the people on the site are going to be able to download your Lectora content. If you're using desktop, you can zip everything together into a folder. If you're using online, you can have just your package file that you can export from your file menu. You can also export library objects, Lectora design themes, and Lectora templates, as well as Lectora online library objects as well. So any of those are accepted as file extensions. If you have anything that you're working on where it would be helpful for people to see, maybe your previous version, your resource files or things like that, you can associate the files in the system as well. There is a file maximum size that is allowed to be uploaded and that is going to be 20 megabytes. So your examples don't need to be large in size, and if anything, you can reduce them down to upload them onto the site as necessary. But we'd love to see your content and your creations. All you need to do is select submit, and it'll be up there, and you'll be able to share it with other people or just let people browse and locate it as well. I think that's about everything that we're planning on talking about here today. We went through, if you are looking for other members of your company or members of Trivana's staff or people that you've met at conferences, from the three-dot menu, there's also a members page. You can also enter in community.trivanas.com/members, and you can search for members and become with friends and follow people that you know as needed. So just keep that in mind as well. So I'm going to leave the rest of the time that we have available, which is about 14 minutes, to answer any questions that you might have regarding the Trivanas community. And if you want me to point you in the direction of certain resources, please go ahead and let me know. And if any of you need to drop off the call for any reason, thank you very much for joining today. We appreciate your interest in the Trivanas community and hope to see you out there. So I'm going to go ahead and just sit back and see if there's any questions. There's not any currently. If you have any, please go ahead and enter them into the questions field, and I will be happy to answer them before we get finished for today.